In order to start, we'll put the attention on the breath for just a few moments. We'll imagine that we have a beautiful garden of flowers growing in our heart. The most exquisite blooms, lovely fragrance, growing and being cared for through our love and compassion. And we can enjoy this garden and all the lovely flowers in it and feel at ease. Have a sense of well-being within the flower garden of our heart. Now we'll cut a beautiful bouquet of flowers, the loveliest ones we can find, and hand it to the person sitting next to us, expressing our love and care through this gift. We'll think of our parents, whether they're still alive or not, and make the most beautiful bouquet out of the flowers in our heart and hand that to them with our love and gratitude and devotion, and see the joy that it brings to them. And we'll think of those people who are nearest and dearest to us, those we might live with. And for each of them, we'll make a beautiful bouquet of flowers from the garden in our heart, nourished by our love, in all different colors, with lovely fragrance, and give each of them the gift which comes from our heart. And we don't expect anything in return. Now we'll think of all our good friends, relatives, acquaintances, anyone who comes to mind. And for each of them, we make a beautiful bouquet of flowers from the garden in our heart, nourished by our love, cared for by compassion. And we give this gift to each one of them, showing them that we care. We'll think of those people whom we meet in our daily lives. People we work with, neighbors, students, teachers, patients, salespeople, postmen. Anyone who comes to mind, who is part of our life and whom we meet in our everyday activities. And we realize that the more flowers we give away, the more of them grow in our heart. So we can make a beautiful bouquet for each of these people, the loveliest blooms we can find. And we can give them the gift which comes straight from our heart, showing them our care and concern and our togetherness. Now we'll think of a difficult person in our lives, or if we don't have one, then one that we feel quite indifferent towards, whom we neither dislike nor like, or the difficult one that we reject and resist, or rejects us. And again we cut a beautiful bouquet of flowers out of the garden of our heart and hand it to that person with love and respect and care, and see the joy that it produces and the relief we feel. we'll open our heart as wide as possible and extend the flower garden to its largest possible degree, and then we allow people to enter, enjoy the beautiful flowers, and each one take one home with them. First, we allow all those people who are present here to come into the flower garden of our heart, which is nourished by love, looked after by care and concern. And each one that comes takes one of the beautiful blooms, and a new one grows in its place. And we see the joy that that brings. And then we allow all the people that are here in the monastery to come and have that beautiful experience. Feel loved and given the gift of a flower from our heart. And we think of our hometown and the people we know, and the people we have seen there, the people we imagine that are there or assume that are there. And we let them all come into the garden of our heart. And we see the joy that that brings to them. And each one may have the gift of one of the beautiful blooms. We might think of all the people that we have met anywhere at any time, seen anywhere at any time, or heard about, and let them all enter. And take away with them a beautiful flower from the garden of our heart. And as we open our heart ever more, and the garden becomes larger and larger, we can let all the living beings that we can think of enter, be joyful, and given the gift, the flower out of the garden, and getting the feeling of our togetherness. And we put the attention back on ourselves. And we see that the flower garden in our heart is unimpaired. There are just as many blooms there as there were to start with. Giving them away has certainly not diminished them. and their fragrance and beauty brings joy to our hearts. We feel a sense of well-being, of being surrounded by love. And now we anchor that flower garden in our hearts so that we have access to it at any time and never lose it. May people everywhere become aware of the beautiful flowers in their own hearts. I wish you In order to start, please put the attention on the breath for just a few moments. We'll imagine that we have a beautiful white lotus flower growing in our heart, which slowly opens its petals until it's fully open. And a golden stream of light comes out of the center of this beautiful flower and fills us from head to toe with warmth and light, and surrounds us completely with a feeling of well-being and being protected. We let the golden stream of light from the center of our hearts reach out to the person sitting nearest us and fill him or her with the warmth and the light from our hearts. Surround him or her with that golden stream of light, giving the gift of our heart. And we'll think of our parents, and we let the golden stream of light from the center of our heart reach out to their hearts, filling them with love and light, embracing them with warmth and care, and seeing the joy that it brings to them. We'll think of our nearest and dearest people, those that we might live with. And we let the golden stream of light from the center of our hearts reach out and extend to their hearts, giving them the greatest gift we have, the warmth and the light from our hearts, without expecting anything in return. And we'll think of our friends and relations, acquaintances, whoever comes to mind. And we let the golden stream of light from the center of our heart reach out to their hearts, filling them with the warmth from our heart, showing them our togetherness, our care and concern, and seeing the joy that it brings them. And we'll think of the people whom we meet in our everyday lives, whoever we can think of, neighbors, people we work with, anyone who appears in our daily life and is an important aspect of our life. We let the golden stream of light from the center of our heart reach out to their hearts, giving them the gift of our hearts, the warmth, the light, the purity, filling them and embracing them with that golden stream of light, realizing our togetherness, we'll think of anyone whom we find difficult, or who finds us difficult, or anyone towards whom we feel quite indifferent. And we let the golden stream of light from the center of our heart reach out to that person, filling him or her with warmth and light, with care and concern, and embracing that person with that golden stream of light as a pure gift from our hearts. Now we open our hearts as wide as possible. And we let the golden stream of light flow out of it like a river that goes over its banks, bringing with it the love and the warmth from our hearts, touching as many people as possible. First, all those who are present here. And then all those who are present in the monastery. Thinking also of those who were present here during the day. And then going further afield, letting this golden stream of light flow further to the people in the surrounding village. And further in other villages and towns and cities. Letting this golden stream of light of love and care cover the whole country, bringing love and light to as many hearts as possible. And going further and further to the surrounding countries. Across the oceans to all the continents, being a source of goodness and love for people everywhere. We'll put the attention back on ourselves and become aware of the joy and the happiness that arise when we can love and give. And we fill ourselves with that golden stream of light from head to toe and surround ourselves with it, feeling the buoyancy, the joy, and the well-being. And we let the golden stream of light go back inside the lotus flower, which closes its petals. And then we anchor the lotus flower in our heart so that it may become one with it. May people everywhere have love in their hearts. We're going to fill our heart with forgiveness for ourselves, for anything that we dislike in ourselves, for anything that we think we've done wrong, thought or said wrong, anything that is a burden. We want to forgive ourselves. Fill ourselves with forgiveness. Surround ourselves with forgiveness. And feeling the ease that that brings. If there's anyone among those present that we have found doing anything we dislike, we'll forgive that person completely and forgive ourselves for having had the dislike. No matter what the reason may have been. we'll think of our parents, whether they're still alive or not, and forgive them for anything that we have blamed them for, realizing that if it was unpleasant, it came out of their dukkha. Forgive them completely. Let our hearts reach out to them, open, without any negative feeling in it. And we can see that that eases our own burden. We'll think of those people who are closest to us, with whom we live, possibly, and forgive them for anything that we have blamed them for any thought, speech, or action that we didn't agree with. Give them the gift of our loving heart. And realize that we're letting go of a burden. And we think of friends and acquaintances, relatives, and our forgiveness reaches out to their hearts, knowing that anything they may have thought, said, or done which we didn't agree with was due to their dukkha. We let it all disappear into the past. And we'll think of those people whom we meet in our everyday life. And if there has been any dislike or rejection, we forgive them completely. Reach out with love and compassion. And feel connected to them. Now we'll think of the most difficult person that we have ever encountered in our life. And recognize the dukkha in that person's heart. And forgive that person completely for anything they may have thought, said or done. And let the warmth of our heart reach out to that person, feeling the easing of the burden. And we'll think of those people whose ideology or actions we have disliked or blamed, and realize that there is a person behind all that which has dukkha, and we forgive the person. Anyone who comes to mind. In the past or in the present. We're doing things we reject. Forgive that person and wish them well. And we open our hearts very wide and let forgiveness flow out of it. To the people near and far. First of all, to everyone who is here. Giving them the gift of a loving and open heart. Rejecting and disliking nothing, no one. To everyone present in the monastery. Rejecting, disliking nothing and no one. Giving the gift of the loving open heart that can forgive. whatever it may have harbored. And then we'll let the stream of forgiveness reach out into the world, to the people around here, and further, so that with a heart which rejects no one, our togetherness and lovingness can touch as many people as possible. We'll put our attention back on ourselves. And if there's anything left that we need to forgive ourselves for, we do that now. Everything we have to forgive ourselves for is in the past. It's all gone. And we can see quite clearly that in the present, the heart can be loving and need not retain any of those feelings which do not bring happiness. We forgive the person we were, who thought and said and did things we may not approve of, and lovingly embrace that person that we are now. May people everywhere forgive each other. In order to start, please put the attention on the breath for just a few moments. Imagine that the sun is shining in your heart. It warms it, it lights it up so that there are no dark corners. Everything is pure and clear. And the warmth of the sun in your heart fills you from head to toe. The sense of well-being, and it surrounds you with a feeling of being taken care of, looked after. embraced by the warmth of your heart. Now let the sun that is shining in your heart reach out and send all its warming rays and its beautiful light to the person sitting nearest you, filling his or her heart with the warmth that comes from your heart. Now think of your parents, whether they are still alive or not, and you let the sun from your heart shine on them. Fill their hearts with the light and the warmth, giving them the greatest gift that you have, letting them feel your togetherness, your care and concern. Just as the warmth of the sun makes things grow on earth, so the warmth of the heart helps to make goodness grow in other people's hearts. Now we think of those people who are closest to us, those that we might be living with, and the sun in our heart shines into their hearts, bringing the purity, the warmth, the clarity, the beautiful shining light to them as our gift, without any expectation of a return. Now we'll think of our good friends, relations and acquaintances, whoever comes to mind. And the sun's rays from our heart warms them, brings light and love to them, expresses our togetherness, and we can see that they feel joyful receiving this warmth. Now we'll think of the people whom we meet in our everyday life. The neighbors, the people at work, students, teachers, patients, salespeople, postmen, whoever comes to mind, who's part of our daily life. The sun from our heart will shine on anyone and bring love and light to everyone's heart whom we can touch with that. So we'll go from person to person, letting them know that we love and care. And now we'll think of a difficult person in our life, or one that we feel totally indifferent towards. The sun shines on everyone. The sun from our heart can do exactly the same. Don't need to discriminate. And we can fill that difficult person with the warmth from our heart. Embrace him and surround him with care and concern. We will open our heart as wide as we can, so that the sun in our heart has a chance to go as far as possible with its warming and beautiful rays, with the light and its nourishing strength. And first we let it shine upon all the people present here, giving the gift of our heart to them. And then let that sun from your heart reach out to all the people in the monastery. Those you've seen, those you've not seen, those you just assume they're there. The sun is capable of making love grow. The more strength it has, the more warmth others will feel. We now let it shine on the Dalai Lama on his birthday and his people in Tibet or in exile, giving them the gift of our love and compassion and care and concern. And now we let the sun from our heart shine on the people who live around this monastery in the village. We may not know them, but we know they're there. The sun doesn't know us, but it shines on us and makes flowers and food and trees and bushes grow. And just so, the sun from our heart makes love grow. And then we go further afield, as far as the strength of our heart will reach. Let the sun shine on people in towns and villages and cities, near and far, all over the country, in the surrounding countries, across the oceans, in your hometowns, some of them across the oceans. Let the sun of your heart bring warmth and love to the people that you know or can think of, have heard about or seen, or just assume to be there. And now we let the sun from our hearts shine on all that which surrounds us. Trees, meadows, valleys, mountains, flowers, bushes, grass, the sky, the clouds, sun, moon, stars. The sun from our heart has beautiful warmth and rays and can embrace it all. And we'll put the attention back on ourselves. And we feel the buoyancy and the lightness which comes from the purity of the heart. We feel the joy that comes from loving and giving our love. And we enter into our heart, seeing it lit up, nourished by the warmth of love, clear, with nothing hidden, and feel totally secure in that. May people everywhere become aware of the sun in their hearts.